published 1424 est. The 4th of December 2017, updated 1925 est. The 4th of December 2017, the Utah Court of Appeals has dismissed a lawsuit filed against a local school district by a victim of a teacher who has been convicted of having with 3 male students. The ruling upheld a district court's decision to reject the lawsuit concerning the upheld misconduct of Brianne Altice, who worked as an English teacher at Davis High School. Judge Ryan Harris wrote in his 21-page opinion, which was released on Friday, that under state law, the Davis County School District was immune from suit. Scroll down for video. The Utah Court of Appeals has dismissed a lawsuit against the Davis County School District over the upheld misconduct case of ex-English teacher Brianne Altice, pictured left in her mugshot in 2013, and right in court. In January 2017, the civil suit was filed by a former student who had with Altice when he was 16 years old. Altice pleaded guilty in 2015 to felony forcible upheld abuse and was sentenced to up to 30 years in prison, but she could be released as early as 2020. In January of this year, Altice, 38, made a tearful plea begging the Utah Board of Pardons and Parole to release her, but her request was denied. Altice admitted in a plea agreement that she had touched the genitals of a 16-year-old boy and 2 17-year-olds from January to September 2013. All 3 teens testified that they had upheld intercourse with the teacher. 2 of the victims later filed lawsuits against Altice and the Davis School District, both of which have now been dismissed. The lawsuits claimed that Davis High School was aware of Altice's inappropriate relationships with multiple students but did not fire her and protect them. One of the suits said that the running joke in the high school was, "Who is Ms. Altice sleeping with now?" Altice, pictured in 2014, pleaded guilty in 2015 to felony forcible upheld abuse and was sentenced to up to 30 years in prison. Altice was first arrested in October 2013 when the 16-year-old victim reported having a relationship with her. The 2 additional victims then came forward. The former teacher was defiant following her initial arrest, claiming at the time that the boy wore down her defenses and ultimately broke down her resistance. Altice's victim claimed the relationship began after they exchanged numbers and flirted during class. They ultimately started kissing and having. Court documents state that the students often skipped class to spend their days with Altice, and that she confided in them about her marital problems. Altice fired back at the claims from prison with a 2-page letter in which she lashed out at the parents of one of her victims, according to the Salt Lake Tribune. In the letter, Altice claimed the parents had failed to attend her parent-teacher conferences and said their son often complained about his strained relationship with them. She also shot down claims that she wore risque clothing in the classroom, saying that she had never received any complaints about her work attire. Altice was ordered to jail at the time after it was revealed she had with a 3rd victim while out on bail for her 2013 arrest. Sentencing guidelines suggest Altice remain behind bars until January 2020, but the ultimate decision was left to the parole board. Sentencing guidelines suggest Altice, pictured in 2015, remain behind bars until January 2020. Altice's husband divorced her following her 2013 arrest and has custody of their 2 children. In his ruling last week, the appeals court judge said that the plaintiff, who was 16 years ago at the time of his tryst with Altice, argued that the district knew, or at least should have known, that teacher had been previously terminated from former employment due to upheld misconduct. The lawsuit accused the district of being negligent in its hiring, supervision and retention of the English teacher, especially after reprimanding Altice, according to the complaint, for engaging in inappropriate contacts with students. The school district argued that under the Governmental Immunity Act of Utah, it was not responsible for any damages caused by Altice, and the appeals court sided with the defendant. It might seem counterintuitive that our law provides no civil remedy against a school district that is alleged to have negligently hired and retained a teacher who has illegal upheld contact with her minor students. But this conclusion is, in our view, compelled by the act and by Utah Supreme Court precedent, the decision states.